Hello, everybody. Welcome to Moving Home with Charlie, another live stream. Today is advice for first-time buyers in a falling housing market. Okay, so I've had some fantastic questions from followers on YouTube and on Twitter, which I'm going to answer today. And in a nutshell, it's in a falling market, what should you do if you're a first-time buyer? And the answer is there's two different things depending on your circumstances. And then if you are going to proceed and go ahead and buy a property, what should you do differently if you are buying despite the market downturn? So if you're new to my channel, please, and you're and you're someone that is moving house anytime soon or know someone that is, please follow me on subscribe to YouTube, follow me on Twitter, or on Facebook or on Instagram. Moving Home with Charlie, just search, you'll find it. But without further ado, let's get straight into the first question I got after Monday's live stream, where I talked about the fact that the market downturn is happening. I'll put a link to that into the notes after this video. And the first question I got was on YouTube from Jimmy Davis, who says, "Great video. What would your advice be for a first-time buyer in Scotland who is currently renting happily and in no rush, but wants to get on the housing ladder at the ideal time from a financial point of view, and is looking for a 180 to 230,000 pound house with a 100k deposit?" Well, first of all, Jimmy, congratulations on having a 100k deposit. However you made that happen. And so your question in a nutshell is, you are in a position to buy, but you're not in a rush. What should you do? That's one very good scenario. I then got another question from Marcus M. He's a renter of 2 years in Glasgow, looking for a house between 160 and 185. Should he hold off until the springtime or buy now? He's got a mortgage rate secured. And one other question, how do you secure a mortgage without having a property? I'll come to that at the very end. Okay. So I've also got Jake on Twitter who said, "Hi, Charlie, just seen your last video on YouTube, looking for some advice. I'm a first-time buyer and we have had our house accepted. Been trying for 1.5 years to find a decent one." So that sounds to me like, Jake, like you found a house and you've had your offer accepted. And you're now asking, would I wait for a drop in house prices and pay the interest on the mortgage, or just try and lock in now? Not looking to flip it, hoping to live in it for 15 to 20 years, so hoping not to lose too much equity. Your other half wants to move in ASAP, but you're reluctant due to the current market. Any advice appreciated? Okay, so we've got, roughly speaking, two different scenarios for a first-time buyer, which is you're not in a hurry, but you've got the money, or you're keen to move now, but you're worried about falling prices. The most important are considering buying a home to live in. I'm not talking about buying investment properties. I'm not talking about buying for any other reason than you need a home, okay? So this is only advice for first-time home buyers. If you are currently in a comfortable accommodation position, in other words, you're not desperate to get out, you're happy where you live now, and you're secure where you live now, then in that scenario, I wouldn't be hurrying. I would be prepared to move quickly if I found my dream home, okay? Because dream homes don't come along that often. So I would be sitting back and watching and waiting, but I would not be wanting to buy straight away unless I found a dream property, okay? So how long would you wait? Given all the information that I have, my understanding of the economy and what's likely to happen, if I didn't have my dream property waiting for me with an offer accepted on it, then I would be waiting. There'd be three things I'd be waiting for. I'd be waiting for the autumn. I'd be waiting for September, October to see what happens, because I think a lot more property is going to come onto the market in September and October, a lot more. That's phase one I would wait for. And at the very least, if you're looking to buy now, you're going to have more choice, okay? So if you've not yet found a property that you've fallen in love with, I'd be waiting for the choice that's coming along. And I can tell you from the estate agents I talk to in my everyday job, they are experiencing a very big increase in people having their properties valued who are planning to put them on the market soon, okay? So phase one, wait for the autumn because you'll have more choice. This is, again, advice of buyers who are not desperate to move now. Phase two would be Christmas. And around about Christmas time, December, I have found in my life, through friends and family as well, that December is a great time to get a great deal on a property. If you're watching a property that you like and it's been on the market for a while and it gets to December and they still haven't sold it. In my experience, people who need to sell, whose property is still sitting on the market after 6 months or more, and it's December, they just want their property sold, and they're more likely to take a lower offer in December than at any other time, because it just allows them to move on with their lives knowing, right, we've got an offer secured on the house, we can now start planning our move in the new year. So that would be phase 2. In December, anything that's been sitting around for a long time that you want to live in would be a good time to make perhaps a slightly cheekier offer. But again, if you haven't found your dream property, I wouldn't buy just because it's cheap. I'd be waiting for January and February, because anything that's still in the market in January and February, and I think a lot more stuff will come to the market in January as well. You'll have more choice, and I suspect if there's going to be a really sharp price drop, the sharpest price drop is probably going to happen, in my opinion, in Q1 next year, Q1 next year, January, February, March next year is when, unless there are any major changes in the economy, in inflation and that kind of stuff, that's when you're going to see the steepest drop in prices. No guarantee of that. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. That's what I'm expecting is the most likely scenario. So if I was a first-time buyer, not desperate to move now, but keen to move when I find the right place, and I could afford to wait for a few months, I would be waiting for the new year, which is that mortgage rates might be slightly higher in the new year. There's just no way of knowing. Currently, the bank base rate is 1.75%. It's expected to go up another 0.5% next month. So you've got the chicken and egg there, where mortgage rates are going to be increasing. But I don't think they're going to be increasing by enough to offset the benefit of a big price drop in the new year. Okay. But I repeat this because the most important advice for a first-time buyer is, if you find a home and it's your long-term home and you fall in love with it, go ahead and buy it, because owning a home is more important than saving a few £1,000 on the price you pay. All right? Let me say that again. Having a home that you can live in and owning a home that you can afford is more important. Being in that home is more important than saving a few £1,000. It is the number one mistake property buyers make. They find a property, they fall in love with it, they want to haggle and get it cheap, and then they lose it and kick themselves. Don't do that if you find a home you fall in love with. Okay? Now, advice for question number 2, which is, we're keen to move now, but we're worried because prices are going to fall. Now, that's a very, very good question to ask. Keen to move now, assume that means because for whatever reason you're not enjoying where you're currently living, you want to move, you want the stability of owning your own home, whatever it might be. So if that's your situation and your life circumstances are compelling you to want to move sooner rather than later, then on the condition that you know you can comfortably afford your mortgage payments on the property you're going to buy, do not delay. Proceed. Find the property that you love. Find at least one. That can come on to my next and most important tip of all for when you're buying. But when you find a property you fall in love with, proceed, because the market may come down after you've bought. But if you're planning to stay for 10 to 15 years, as I think Jake said he's going to be doing, and you're taking a long-term view, the market will come back and it won't affect you. And in the long run, your property will increase in value. Okay. So whether you are the first category of first-time buyer or the second category of first-time buyer, the following advice applies. You want to try and make sure that you don't overpay or pay top whack for a property in a falling market. And the way to make sure that you get the fairest price is this. Try and make sure you have at least 2 properties that you like equally. Okay? And make sure that the agents with these properties know that you've got another one that you're genuinely, don't fake it and pretend there's something else you want to buy if there isn't. Because agents do this for a job every day and they'll screw you, okay? And then it just undermines your credibility as a buyer. Be honest. So find at least 2 properties that you would be happy to live in, okay? Make sure, and be honest with yourself. Would I be equally happy in either one? I mean, my slight preference, but bottom line, would you be equally happy in either one? And if that's the case, then you can go to the sellers of those properties or the agents representing the sellers of those properties and say, come on, the market's coming down. What is the best price? How keen are they to sell? Because the property I buy is going to be the one with the lowest price. It's as simple as that. And if they know, and if the agent can go back to the vendor of their property and say, we have a buyer who will buy your property, provided it's the best value property on offer right now. Okay, then you're going to find out what the true selling prices of that property. Make sure you are genuinely proceedable. Make sure you've got your mortgage and principal lined up and everything, your ducks in a row, because that counts for a lot when you're offering on a property. Okay, just making an offer but then having to go off and sort lots of stuff out later, those offers are not as valuable to an agent as an offer that says, I can proceed today, we can instruct solicitors today and get to exchange as fast as possible because I've got all my ducks in a row. If you're prepared like that and you've got two properties you're offering on, you're going to find out what the best price is. And then when you find out what the best price is, don't penny pinch, move, because there is a value in getting into your new home. It's an intangible value and it's worth more than the few quid you might save by trying to haggle a bit more. Don't salami slice when you found your dream home. Just pay the price you've agreed and proceed as quickly as you can. Okay, so I hope that's helpful advice. I'll wrap it up again. If you're not in a desperate hurry to move, I'd be waiting till the autumn for some more choice. I'd be waiting for December to grab a bargain, and I'd possibly even be waiting till the new year for the potential biggest drop in prices and even more property come on the market. It just depends how long you want to wait. Okay, if you don't want to wait, get out there. I'd probably be waiting till September because I think a lot more properties will come on the market in September. And when you get to September, I'd be snapping up the home of your dreams and getting moved in. It's, they're moved into a home that you own when you're weathering a storm of uncertainty that's coming. As long as you're sure you can afford your payments, okay? That's the most important thing. I hope that's helpful. Please send me your questions. Get the comments and the questions. Put your questions in the comments below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, Moving Home with Charlie. Please share this video with any other friends you know who are first-time buyers and get them to send me their questions too. And in the meantime, best of luck finding your dream home. I look forward to have you who have found your dream home and have moved in. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.